Hello, welcome to Brilliant Academy. In today's class, you are going to learn about units, fundamental quantities, derived quantities, and their units. Unit, a universally accepted quantity that is used to measure other physical quantities. So when I say physical quantities, I'm talking about velocity, distance, time. These are different physical quantities. So the quantity that is used, that is recognized universally to measure them, that's what we refer to as unit. For velocity, we have its unit that is universally accepted to be measured as meter per second. For time, it is measured in second. For acceleration, is meter per second square. So let's talk about fundamental quantities. So fundamental quantities are quantities that cannot be expressed in terms of other physical quantities. So observe this table. So you can see from the table given here that these are the fundamental quantities. Basically, we have 7 fundamental quantities. So from by definition, I said they are quantities that cannot be they are not formed by combination of any other quantities. So for length, now think of it. For length, you don't have to multiply anything by anything to get length. Once you measure a distance, you have the length. But let's compare it to velocity. You have to divide distance all over time for you to get velocity. But for length, it's just there. So this is a fundamental quantity. The next one is mass. Same thing for mass. Actually, for length, the unit is meter with the symbol m. And same thing for mass. The unit is kilogram, and we have the symbol kg, and the rest follows: time, electric current, amount of substance, which is in mole, luminous intensity, candela, giving the symbol is Cd, and for thermodynamics temperature we have Kelvin with the symbol K. So these are the fundamental quantities that we have, and these quantities are what actually help us to get our derived quantities. So let's look at derived quantities. So what is actually derived quantity? Derived quantities are quantities that are formed by multiplying or dividing 2 or more fundamental quantities. So if for instance, if I want to get velocity, I will have to divide distance all over time for me to get my velocity. Notice that distance is measured in meter, which is length, and also time is here. So actually, we use the fundamental quantities to get our derived quantities. So I'm just going to give a list of few derived quantities and also how they relate to their fundamental quantities. So as you can see from the table, these are different derived quantities. So any quantity that you have to multiply or divide 2 or more fundamental quantities, a derived quantity. So let's look at area. For us to get the area of any cross-sectional area, we will need to multiply length by length. Let's say, for instance, what I mean is that, let's say we have a shape, a rectangle, and this is from here to here is length. Same thing to here is length. For us to get the area of it, we'll have to multiply length times length. So that's for area. So you can see that multiplying two fundamental quantity, which is length, gives us area. Now let's look at volume. For volume, you need to multiply length 3 times. So what that means is that let's say we have something that looks in this form. We have something that looks in this form. Now, for us to get the volume of this, we need to multiply this distance from here to here, and the distance from here to here, and the distance from here to here. So you need to multiply 3 dimensions of this quantity in order for you to get the volume. So doing that, you are multiplying some fundamental quantities. Multiplying different fundamental quantities or same fundamental quantities gives you derived quantities. Same thing for velocity, we are dividing distance all over time. For acceleration is velocity all over time. For pressure, we have force all over area, and these are the symbol for their unit. Now, so let's quickly observe fundamental unit and derived unit. So fundamental units are the units given to fundamental quantities. So look at this. These are the 7 fundamental quantities that we have. The units assigned to them, that is what we refer to as fundamental unit. Therefore, derived unit, the unit assigned to derived quantities like area, volume, velocity, acceleration, pressure, and many more. Those units assigned to them is what we refer to as derived unit. So take time to observe the difference between derived unit and fundamental unit, and also take time to observe what is fundamental quantity and what is derived quantity. So I believe you've understood the concept. So do well to subscribe to the channel to get more videos on complex topics like this, and do well to share, like, and comment. I mean, you have friends that need this knowledge. Do well to share to them. See you in my next class.